For a film that was not on my radar, I'm very excited to talk about it. And for anybody who's looking for a feel-good film with a lot of nostalgia and heart, this is the film for you. Folks, let's jump into my review of the new film, The Moon and Back. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film, The Moon and Back, which is going to be releasing on demand and digital April 23rd. So this film released about 2 years ago, and I really have not seen or heard anything about it. But nonetheless, thanks to the good folks at Lionsgate, it's available now on demand and digital April 23rd. And I was presented an opportunity to check this one out early, and I said, sure, why not? And I'm going to say, for anybody who is a independent film lover like myself, anybody who is a festival goer like myself, these are the films that you hope to run across once you go. Because it's those films where, like, they have, some attractive names to it. Folks you've seen in other titles and other mediums and whatnot. And then obviously you discover some new folks amongst the way. And for this one, you have Nat Faxon, who plays Lydia Gilbert, the dad in this film. Missi, Pyle, who plays Lydia Gilbert. And then our lead here. Now, I got to tell you, if she's not on your radar right now, she certainly will be, because she's been making a lot of waves in all of her work. And that's none other than Isabel May, who plays the character Lydia. Isabel has been all over. She's in the Yellowstone prequel series, 1883 and 1923, which are just overly popular. She's fantastic in it. And seeing her as the lead, right there alone should be intriguing for you Yellowstone folks. But nonetheless, if you've never heard of her, I'm sure you're going to be a fan after this, because again, she plays the character Lydia Gilbert, who is just a high school senior, and everybody has been a high school senior, I hope. And if you remember, when you were a high school senior, the world was very big. Were you going to go to college? Were you going to get a job? Where were you going to go to college? Where were you going to get a job? Pressures from your family, pressures from society. There's a lot that is on your plate. Meanwhile, you're just trying to enjoy yourself and probably looking towards freedom. But for Lydia, it was a little different for her, because her father had recently passed. And with her father's passing, that really complicated a lot of things that she thought was once isn't. And I think the first thing to kind of identify here is the finances within the house. That really put a strain on Diane, the mother. And I think one very important theme in this film is how both of them are grieving both their father-husband loss, but grieving can look different. And you're seeing that be experienced in this film, which, if you've ever lost anybody, then this is relatable in that fashion, and you instantly connect with these characters very much emotionally in a way that you probably wasn't expecting, because their performances comes across so authentic, so genuine, that you almost want to pick up the phone and call them and see how they're doing, But beyond that, just to kind of go back to Lydia here, Lydia has a lot of things she needs to decide amongst this. And with all of these pressures, I think the word that easily describes where she's at and what she's doing is lost. She's completely lost. She's not making friends. She doesn't have such a strong connection with her mother, because they're kind of bumping head about things. But with that, she does take a look into some of the things within her household, and that helps her. That eventually has her stumble across some of her dad's work. And her dad was a screenwriter, and he's putting together a screenplay that he had not completed because he needed a blockbuster-sized budget to make this come to life. The thing about this is that the mother Diane supported Peter, but Peter and his dreams, his aspirations wasn't putting food on the plate. So there was friction there. But like, you know, you can understand that Diane must have some level of resentment because he passed and they are still left now even more crippled than before. But Lydia, who I wouldn't say is completely defiant of her mother, but don't quite see the things exactly the same. Because with this, she decides to not only finish the screenplay, but to also create the movie. So with a VHS camera and a little bit of money and some help with some of her friends, she decides to go down this path to honor her late father and bring this script to reality. It's a beautiful story. And, you know, the one thing I want to talk about in terms of nostalgia is that, like, for me, and I remember in high school, like, we all had that high school film making project. So this instantly connects you to that. Like, you didn't know what you were doing, but you had a project to do. And this involved you making friends or classmates, becoming friends and long-term friends, but ultimately coming together to make this happen. Lydia meets a character or a friend in Simon, played by Mal Gutierrez Riley, who's that one friend that you didn't know you needed till you had. And they have such a strong bond in this film, and their chemistry as actors work very well together, that just has tremendous banter and really makes this film move. But as I mentioned in this though, like, yeah, you're gonna not only really connect with Lydia's journey, but like Lydia having this friend such as Simon, this unexpected friendship. Then you start to think back about some of your unexpected friendships. Again, putting together a film with a VHS, like, you didn't know what you were doing, but you did it, you know? And with that too, like, if you are an amateur filmmaker or you inspire to be a filmmaker of some sorts, and if you are in a family of legacy filmmakers and you become the legacy, I mean, there's so many things you're going to connect with, because Lydia is her father's daughter, and she taps into this creativity she never knew she had because of her father. And I think this is going to connect with some folks who may be in a family of filmmakers as well too. So yeah, there's a lot of feel good moments. There's some humor, good banter amongst the actors, and even going into the credits, which is just completely funny, really taking you back down the 90s, which is one of my favorite eras. I mean, this film just hits on so many different cylinders. And again, if you are like a person who loves indie films and you want to stumble across a film where you're seeing some of your favorite actors in roles that they traditionally had not been casted for, I mean, this is it. This is totally it. And again, anybody who goes to a film festival and you don't really know what's showing, but you hope to go there and see a good film to talk about it, this is that. This is absolutely that. The Moon and Back is a film, again, that I was not on my radar, knew nothing about it, but here to say, like, I enjoyed this. This made me feel very good. I grew so much appreciation to the cast, even to Nat, who didn't have such a big role because, again, the father dies. Really makes a strong impact in his limited time, you know? So there's a lot of reasons why you should check out this film. And as I mentioned, it is available on demand and digital April 23rd. Check this one out. You will not be disappointed. Shall I mention that the director, this is their directorial debut? So I'm absolutely on board for more work from Leah. I was very pleased, and when you talk about the entire production of this film, from just the found footage aspect of it that really worked, and just everything with the cinematography and really working with this cast and making these feelings, these relationships and everything so organic. Fantastic job. I cannot wait to see what Leah has next. And again, this film was released in 2020. Was released in 2022, so 2 years ago. So I'm sure Leah has been back to work since. And whatever that work is, I would absolutely keep an eye out for, because this was very exciting. And definitely a tremendous step in the right direction of filmmaking. So shout out to Leah for The Moon and Back. And folks, go check it out. And once you do, jump in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about this one. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon. Thank you for watching, folks.